All right, welcome back, guys. Food security and nutrition has been brought into focus over the last couple of years due to COVID-19 and other world crises. So as such, the Jamaica 4-H clubs want Jamaicans to widen their culinary palate. So joining us now is Executive Director Dr. Ronald Blake and National Home Economics Coordinator Alicia Fulton. Morning to you both. You brought me breakfast.
Good morning.
Now, Dr. Blake, let me start with you, because I am one who also believes that there is much to get from what we produce here in Jamaica, right? It's just an easy from farm to table kind of lifestyle that we should be going towards. Why do you believe that this is important? I want you to tell me in your own words.
Well, let me say that if you were to think about the fact that there are 20,000 species of edible foods, but 90% of the food we consume globally comes from only 20, not 20%, only 20 species, 90% of the food we eat. What that is saying to us is that a lot of what is edible, we are not exploring it as food. And it answers in a large way. It is the answer in a large way to food security. And so the 4-H response is that we are promoting food diversification. So essentially what we're saying, there are a lot of foods that are available right here in Jamaica that we can bring to the table for consumption. If you were to also look around the Caribbean and look at the many other things we eat as a composite and compare to what we eat in Jamaica or any of the islands singly, you recognize that there is tremendous opportunity to diversify what we bring to the table for people to eat. And hence we are saying there are many foods that they are new. There are many foods that are being wasted as well. And so what we're saying, food conservation, what the data is showing us that about 30 to 40% of the food produced globally is actually wasted before it gets to the table.
Absolutely. And from Jamaica, I'm very happy that you mentioned that number. And so for somebody who may not have heard that number just now, remind us, you said, what is the percentage for edible foods in Jamaica that are unexplored?
So, well, not just Jamaica. The figure I gave is globally.
Globally,
there are over 20,000 species of edible food available globally.
So when we're looking at that for Jamaica, what are some of the crops that we're talking about?
Well, you know, in Jamaica, we have a very rich diversity of plants. And we would not have those 20,000 edible species because that's globally. Of course, yes. And I don't know what the figure is for Jamaica, but what I can tell you is that there are thousands of food and plant foods in Jamaica that are presently not consumed.
Such as? Give us an example.
If you were to look elsewhere, pumpkin leaf is highly consumed. We consume a whole lot of dasheen, the leaf structure in Costa Rica. That's what they eat. They don't eat the corm, which we eat. A lot of people don't know that Spanish needle there's no difference between Spanish needle and Callaloo. The Joseph coat that you use as flour here in Jamaica, that pretty flour that has a strong, pungent smell, that's highly eaten in Asia. Things like worms are now being grown and proliferated to make flour.
But
and
Mr.
that's
Blake,
eaten.
hold on there, because you mentioned some things that some people look at, like, we don't use, Jamaicans don't use these things, but it's a worm now, you know? I think that's the biggest concern for a lot of people about, in diversifying the things that we are eating. Some of these food items we have never had before. We don't know how to prepare them. We don't know how to create a great dish that is going to be tasty with them. So I think that's exactly where we can target, in terms of introducing it in a way, showing people how to prepare it, that it's tasty, that we can actually consume it. Because when you say things like dasheen leaf, somebody may be like, but that can't eat. How you eat dasheen leaf? How would you consume dasheen leaf?
But if you can have Callaloo, which we are accustomed to, we are overutilized Callaloo, and it's rightly so, very healthy, a lot of vitamins and so. But if, when you look at how they prepare dasheen leaf, not only in Costa Rica, but in Trinidad, It's just a wonderful taste. Alicia will tell you the way they prepare these things. But
yes, Alicia. Tell me the ways in which, because you have prepared a whole spread here for us this morning, but the dasheen leaf now. Tell me the ways in which I could prepare it so it's tasty to me.
Well, a lot of the things that has to do with leafy greens, it's a matter of seasoning.
Okay.
So you, like the Spanish needle, would need to use your scallions, your onions to add and enhance the flavor. And of course, we're Jamaicans, so of course we have to add our flavor and spice to everything. Right, and saute that. Some persons use them in soups, stocks and that sort of
thing. So you mentioned Spanish needle. Is it that what we're looking at Spanish needle right here?
Right,
it looks like callaloo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is prepared in coconut milk, so it enhances the flavor.
Okay.
So for persons who may have a challenge, the coconut milk helps to disguise or help you to appreciate.
Right. It makes it a little bit more palatable, right?
Right.
And is the texture in it different than callaloo? Like, is it more dense? It takes longer to cook? You have to strip it? You have to do anything extra?
You don't have to strip it.
Okay.
You don't have to strip it, and it cooks just as easily as callaloo cooks.
Wow.
And of course, you can add your additional vegetables to it to enhance the nutritive quality.
Yeah.
Similar to how we have here, this is green banana fritters with the skin. So we have added the skin to the fritters to add nutrients and fiber to the meal. So we're reducing waste. And as the ministry also engages on the Grow Smart, Eat Smart initiative or campaign, we are also showcasing how you can eat smart here by utilizing some of these crops that you would not have thought of initially.
And you also have some, I see mulberry here as well as some Java plum that you have turned into a jam.
It's a chutney. So this is a mulberry chutney, and that is a Java plum pineapple
What is a mulberry? Can we just turn, let's look at it, because oftentimes we may have seen these fruits, I believe they are, on trees, and we pass them by thinking it's waste. And we're looking at them like, it's for animals to eat. It's not for us to consume.
And these particular berries are very sweet when they are properly ripened. Yeah. And they will add that nutritive quality, because a lot of times we don't get the micronutrients that we need. And this can also help to enhance that for our families and ourselves.
Yeah.
So we need to look at these things and see how we can incorporate them into our diet. Right there is a purslane cucumber refresher. A lot of people call it parsley or parsley.
Okay, so it's this is parsley.
It is not parsley as in parsley that we know.
Parsley.
Okay. But Jamaicans kind of add their own twang and
man, food is something that is named different. Right. So it's parsley.
So some persons will know it as parsley.
Okay.
And some person call it parsley, but it is not.
I always see this plant growing wild on the ground all the time, and you pass it and thinking it's just something you mustn't touch.
Exactly so. So persons tend to weed them out of their gardens. But we're saying select a nice area in your garden for that specifically, and you can utilize it.
Absolutely.
And get all the nutrients, your vitamins, your minerals, your calcium, etc. from these things, and prepare them in ways that it's best consumed for you. So you might cook it, another person make the drink.
Yeah, Dr. Blake, how do we now introduce this now to schools? Because already we know children are picky eaters, so oftentimes they don't want to have this kind of food. How do we start to integrate this now into our lunch meal options?
Right, so, if you're able to change the diet of our kids, you're able to change the diet of a nation. That's my view. And one of the things, if you notice the care and the presentation, because as Alicia and her team will always say, if it's able to catch the eyes, it will catch the palate. And so you have to be able to make it very tasty and very attractive. And so a lot of what we do in our promotions island-wide is really targeting our young people. And I think we are making tremendous strides in winning. I mean, it's not an easy sell to sell the animals, the worms and the grasshoppers and so on, so that other people eat.
Yeah.
But as it relates to our banana skin or callaloo or parsley or badu, we are finding that young people are enjoying it as much as the regular food.
Absolutely.
The reality is that, you know, we talked about parsley just now, but some of the world-leading scientists are now using that plant to help to determine measures of developing drought-resistant plants.
So we have much left on.
Because there's a lot of resilience from a lot of the food that we are talking about.
But let me tell you something. I think we've learned a lot this morning, and I can't wait to see what else that the 4-H Club, you know, will uncover about the food that we have still left to explore here in Jamaica. So I thank you both for joining us this morning, and thanks for the work that you have been doing. From the Jamaica 4-H Club, Executive Director Dr. Ronald Blake and National Home Economics Coordinator Alicia Fulton giving us a lot to eat on. Now, on the other side of the break, we'll look at grooming in schools. Stay with us.